this Karmelo Anthony case is extremely disturbing. I outlaid a bit of the facts before we went to break. But what's happening now is this is weirdly breaking down along racial lines because Karmelo is black. The kid he killed was white, Austin Metcalf. Austin Metcalf, 17, perfect GPA, being recruited to play in various schools for college, like a football star, MVP. Karmelo Anthony also said to be a good student and possibly also getting recruited to play in college and I think football. And he shows up at this track meet and apparently decides to sit in Austin Metcalf's like area. I guess they sit by teams. And I don't know if they were playing on rival teams, but Austin and Karmelo did not go to the same school. And so I'm not sure if he was trying to provoke a fight or something, but he decided to go sit in the tent that Austin and his twin brother and their team, like supporting friends, were under. Austin Metcalf reportedly, this is from the police report, and witnesses cited therein, told him to leave, to get out of Austin's seat. And he turned to him and said something to the effect of, make me, or said like, if you lay hands on me, see what happens, something like that. And as he was doing it, he was reaching into a bag, and Austin Metcalf did put hands on him and tried to make him get out of the seat. And he stabbed him through the heart with a knife that he had in that bag. It's just a depraved act. It's a depraved act. I don't know what's wrong with the family he grew up in or with him. His mother was there yesterday and interestingly was saying that this is a close family, that it's a two-parent family, that it's a God-fearing family, claiming he's a good boy. I don't know. I saw pictures of him online with the gun and middle finger and trying to look like a badass kind of tough guy. So I'm not sure what this guy was going through, but there's no mystery who did this. It was him. So they hold this presser. And first of all, Maureen, they hire this guy who he's not their lawyer, as near as I can understand. There's a different guy who's their lawyer. He's a minister, quote unquote, I'm using that term generously, who's had a long list of trouble with the law in his own right, including the fact that we read this in AM Update, but he was convicted of causing serious bodily injury to a 2-year-old child. It was his girlfriend's son he was babysitting. He called the girlfriend at 11 p.m. This is the spokesperson for the family. Called the girlfriend at 11 p.m., told her to get home now, didn't tell her why. When she arrived, her child was unresponsive. He told the girlfriend he'd been watching a movie and her son just fell off the couch. He fell off and onto the carpet. But they brought him to the doctor, to the emergency room. He wound up going to the ICU. The doctor said these are lies, that the son had a subdural hemorrhage between the two halves of his brain at the back of the brain. He also had retinal hemorrhages in both eyes. Quote, the severity of his injuries is not consistent with rolling off the couch, the investigative officer reported the doctor saying. Without more adequate history of trauma, complainant's injuries are more consistent with abusive head trauma and child physical abuse. This guy, again, still on the spokesperson, the prosecutor read two statements from him. Dominique Alexander is his name. He signed. The first one, he claimed the child had fallen off the couch. The second, he admitted to shaking the child. He was charged with a first-degree felony, and that resulted in a conviction. Then it went on from there. He also faced assault charges against the girlfriend, charged with 1 felony, 1 misdemeanor, after he allegedly shoved and attempted to strangle his girlfriend, who accused him of pushing, choking, and headbutting her during several altercations, like so many women do. She ultimately decided not to testify or participate in the case against him, and therefore it went away. So this is the man we're about to listen to, so you know. This is who the family has chosen to represent them, to try to set the record straight on this horrific crime. And he went out there, and the first thing he did was he saw Austin Metcalf's dad, Jeff, had shown up to the presser, whose first reaction after his son was murdered was to say, I forgive him. I forgive the kid who did this. And he went to hear what they had to say at this presser. And here's how Dominique Alexander, the man I just read you about, handled it.
What we seen at the beginning of this press conference, the father being at this press conference, is a disrespect to the dignity of his son. That was disrespectful and just shows you all the character who is not invited, he knows that it's inappropriate to be near this family. But he did it. And so I say to people, actions speak louder than words. Okay? What he has failed into is the political operatives that want to make this thing a political thing of hate, yet bigotry, and yet racism. We have conservative operatives that have been posting nonstop.
And he went on to say later that these political operatives are who led to the father being here. Political operatives motivating this family with hate. And the father was thrown out. The cops had to come. He didn't want to leave. He wanted to hear what they had to say.
Of course he did.
And they threw him out with cops. That's despicable. That man is despicable. And then the family running out there trying to make themselves the victims, which is what they did. The mother got up and gave a big sob story about how hard this has been for her, are missing the point entirely.
Nobody had more right to be at that press conference than Austin's father, okay? You're holding a press conference. First Amendment. Anybody can be there, I think. Tell me if I'm wrong. Secondly, this guy is a lost leader for this family who is doing themselves no favor, talking on their own behalf. He said in that presser, actions speak louder than words. Well, sir, the guy you're defending stabbed a 17-year-old in the heart to death at a football game over a seat. So yeah, I guess actions do speak louder than words. Keep talking, keep talking. And that this family doesn't have the foresight to cut this guy loose after knowing what we know about the serious near fatal injuries to a small child. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. This is like the poor man's Al Sharpton.
Yeah.
Right? That's obviously what this is. They obviously couldn't even get Al Sharpton.
Who that tells you a lot,
will
right?
go to the opening of an envelope.
Oh, he'll run toward any racialized crime you've got.
Yeah. So obviously he turned this one down. That's my suspicion. And they got this basement barrel version of the already rather low Al Sharpton to represent them, I guess. And look, it's not that I want to see the mother, either set of parents, get harassed here, because it's the kids.
Right.
It's the kid who is accused of misbehaving. But she needs to keep some perspective on what Austin Metcalf's parents are going through. That's where my sympathy lays. Here she is, the mom of Karmelo Anthony.
In wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about. The lies and false accusations that have been said about us, especially over the past week, has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification put my family in danger. My husband had to take a leave of absence because he's afraid what may happen to our family. His mental health is deteriorating day by day. We have endured death threats. My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what may happen to her.
I'm sorry, but that is as a result of what her son did.
The first thing out of her mouth should have been about the victim. Really should have been. I think the other thing that struck me about that statement she gave was it's passive language. This tragic incident. It's not a tragic incident. It was an aggressive, fatal act taken by your son that took the life of another 17-year-old. You have to, it's all about owning stuff in this culture. Why can't you just own? I'm sorry. And also, don't they live in a gated community right now?
No, right now, yes. So they have reportedly, according to the Daily Mail, moved into a $900,000 home where they're being allowed to stay by somebody in a gated community while they scream racism.
While they're waiting on $500,000 to become liquid from their GoFundMe or whatever?
Yes. And while their son, who the vast majority of defendants in Texas would be in jail without bond right now,
100%.
but he's out on bond.
Got it lowered.
Some female judge lowered it and said, okay, I'll let him stay at home on house arrest in his $1 million friend's home, I guess. I don't think it's theirs. And while they're screaming, we're all racists. Because that guy speaks for them, that Dominique Alexander guy. Mm-hmm. And he was out there. The mom's talking about poor me, poor us. And here's more of Alexander, who blamed everybody. He blamed the weather. The school should have canceled the track meet because of the weather. They were under tarps. He blamed Trump. Here, listen to him in SOT 25.
Black people in America, while the current occupant sits at 1600 Pennsylvania, Black people in America don't have to pull the race card. It's what we live as a reality every day. It's what we have to teach our children. We don't want to, but we have to. We don't like to, but if we want to sleep at night, we got to. I ain't pulling no race card. I live it. I'm reminded all the time that I'm a black man in America.
Oh, but he's not playing the race card.
If you look at that, say you have no context for what happened. You just got off a plane from overseas and you're looking at that. I would assume that couple lost their child in a violent act perpetrated by a white kid. That's what I would assume.
Me too. The nerve of him to go out there and rail about racism in America. Mm-hmm. What are you talking about? There is no dispute. There's no dispute that Karmelo Anthony stabbed Austin Metcalf in the heart with a knife while not being threatened with any sort of weapon himself. You've heard about tariffs recently, plus inflation, supply chain disruptions. It's a lot, but there is a silver lining that most people missed. President Trump specifically exempted gold and silver bullion from the tariff talk. The administration preserved the ability to diversify into precious metals. If you are concerned about your savings, consider a free consultation with a Birch Gold precious metals specialist. The first step is to text MK to 989898 and receive your free no-obligation info kit on gold. Learn how to hold gold and silver in a tax-sheltered account. Birch Gold will help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a gold IRA for no money out of pocket. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and thousands of thankful customers, consider texting MK to 989898. Again, text MK to 989898 to claim your free info kit right now. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.